Santa Barbara to serve first. Best 3 out of 5 sets for a spot in the regional semifinals. And immediately high sky dink by Breon Butler. Butler wearing number 10 in white, 6'4", sophomore middle blocker out of Kendleton, Texas. Hit .422 on the year, and Texas's blocking numbers have just skyrocketed since she returned to the lineup after missing the first 8 contests of the year. Here's Logan Eggleston.
Nice touch from the middle, Butler.
But was not there in transition. And that ball cannot be played on by Tallulah Froley, the 6-foot redshirt freshman out of Half Moon Bay, who, as you saw, had a career high 18 kills last night. Perfect pass again, and that ball crushed to the floor by Denny Wilson, 6'2" freshman out of Los Angeles, who had a really big night last night. Congratulations to UCSB. They recorded their 23rd win on the season over a very good team in the Texas State Bobcats, 3-1. And here is Zoe Fleck with the service winner.
And Paul, that's where it's going to start for Santa Barbara. Tough pressure at the service line. If you want to slow down the #1, the most devastatingly efficient offense in the country, you got to make them work and force poor first contacts. That's a good first contact, so Texas can run their offense, but an unforced error from Fields there.
Skylar Fields, the Big 12 freshman of the year out of Missouri City, Texas, missed that ball wide. Back to Fields again. Nice cover and first contact by Breon Butler. And then Micaiah White, that time in front of Zoe Fleck, into the cross court. First kill for #1, the outstanding senior. And speaking of outstanding, Jared Elliott in his 19th year. This Texas team is trying to get to the regional semifinals for the 14th straight year. And look at that, 9 national semifinals in the last 11, 1 in 2012. Nice dig by Peterson, right on target. Right side again to Fields. Nice first contact, 101 by Ruddens. That ball's up.
Santa Barbara's got to get better sets than that in transition against this devastating Texas offense.
Nicole Lantane Welch in her 7th year in Santa Barbara. She's a Southern California native, and even though she had a very, very good job, 13 years at the University of Miami, she wanted to come back to Santa Barbara, where she went to high school, Santa Barbara High. Stuff blocked by White along with Asia O'Neal.
Well, we can see that Tallulah Froley, the opposite for UC Santa Barbara, is hitting against a totally different block than she was facing last night against Texas State. And so far, not able to come up with any kills. Last night, no errors until probably her 22nd swing.
Quickly to the outside again, and Ruddens. Lindsey Ruddens, 6'2" redshirt senior out of Laguna Niguel, California. Just the 2nd gaucho ever to be first team all Big West Conference 4 years in a row.
And you can see on that replay how fast that set goes out to Ruddens. It creates it. There's no way a middle, unless she guesses and leaves early, can close, and there's going to be space, and she attacked it.
Micaiah White misses that ball out of bounds. Texas last night, UAlbany won their conference, came in, but Texas just shredded their block or lack thereof and hit 514. Very, very clean match, but already with a couple of early hitting errors, and that's going to be another service winner. One against Peterson, and now this one against Micaiah White.
Yeah, and Coach Lantane Welch has said that her best servers, and they get 3 of them, they run a 2-setter offense. So right now we have Ramoni Vivao at the line. She's one of those most effective servers, along with their libero. Fleck doesn't come up with the ball on that.
Nice delivery. Gabriel going into the middle to O'Neal. Is that a service mistake? I mean, you've got Vivao, who just got a point off of Micaiah White, and then she just lobbed one right at Eggleston, who's the better passer.
Well, we don't know, because most coaches give signals to their servers as to where they want to serve, and some like to change. If it were me, I'd want to go right back at the passer who just got aced, but other coaches will change it. So we don't know what the service signal was.
That's going to be a double contact called against Romani Vivao, wearing number 3, the 5'7" freshman out of Long Beach, California. Just underway, opening set. Thanks for joining us. LHN's coverage of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. 7-6. Here is Claire Hahn, who's been outstanding as a passer and defensive specialist in her senior year. That is a nice crack over the top. Taja Farmer, 6-foot freshman out of Highland, Utah, came off the bench last night, was 6 for 12, and showed a lot of speed and a lot of pop.
And that's exactly why she's on the floor right now. UCSB opting for more firepower, more efficiency in left side attack.
Eggleston out of the back row and able to get that ball off the hand of middle blocker Rowan Ennis, wearing number 2 in blue. That's for the Gauchos.
That's one of the beauties of the Texas offense. They have 2 outside hitters, Logan Eggleston being one of them, Micaiah White the other, who's at the service line, who stay on the court the whole time. So they're both threats out of the back row. And that's a great option for Jenna Gabriel to have in her offense.
Nicely handled by Fleck. Not a good set, however, by Vivao. Vivao with the first contact, so Fleck's got to step in. Nice play once again by Hahn. You've been doing that all season long. A little bit of a tight set, and Jenna Gabriel celebrating the 5'8" setter for Texas with the stuff block.
And Coach Jared Elliott is not happy with Vivao. He thought she held on to the ball too long. He went to school at Northridge. He knows the deep dish that you can sometimes find from Southern California, and he was protesting that last one.
White again. And the unforced error from the service line. Micaiah White can be feast or famine. She had 29 aces coming into the NCAA tournament, counterbalanced by 53 errors, having another All-American season. She was among 4 Texas Longhorns that made the first team All Big 12. Shank pass. And that's into the antenna. Although that was saved by Jenna Gabriel, the ball off Eggleston, number 33 in white, went into the antenna. Play is dead. Ball out of bounds, tied at 9. Good enough start for Santa Barbara to give them a feel?
Very good. I think their service pressure is exactly what they want. And that's also good to pull one of the front row hitters short and onto the floor. So that short serve I would expect to see more of from Santa Barbara.
Very nice slide attack delivered by Asia O'Neal, the redshirt freshman wearing number 7 in white, who is through most of the season until she had to take a week away from the team to deal with a family matter, was a very effective server. And the announcer's curse is that ball drifts 15 feet long. But she has been.
That always happens to us, Paul.
Ellen O'Neal, 6'3" redshirt freshman out of Southlake, Texas, the number 2 overall recruit back in 2018. And here is the other setter, Santa Barbara, running a 2-setter, 6'2" offense. Olivia Lovenberg, 5'8" sophomore out of San Diego. Perfect pass.
Good up by Fleck.
Very good contact and in transition. Nicely done by Tallulah Froley.
Yes, when that ball comes up, watch Froley get number 5, who was the hitter that time. She got back off the net. I'd like to see her turn and run rather than backpedal, but she got beyond the 10-foot line. She becomes available as a hitter.
Nice stab by Ruddens. And that ball down the line. Look out, Lovenberg. That was a wonderful one-arm bandit in the back court by number 4 in blue. Tied at 11. Texas 22-3 on the year, 15-1 in the Big 12 Conference this year. They shared the conference title with Baylor, the number 1 overall seed. UC Santa Barbara 23-5, 12-4 in the Big West. One of 3 Big West teams in the tournament. Nice offense. Really good timing once again, and Froley taking full advantage.
And you can see that Texas is trying to make Kim Ruddens do a lot of the work. So that first contact set her offense up. So important to put the setter on her spot with your serve reception.
Good block touch out of the middle. Froley again made life difficult for number 23, Tori Glasker, behind her, who's the best ball control player all around for UCSB. She was right there, but Froley almost took it away from her. Good serve and beautifully handled. Good block out of the middle by Breon Butler, but not this time. Lindsey Ruddens, who this year was really interesting, Karch. Last year she took over 1,600 swings. So this has been a very easy senior season. She's only taken 1,000 swings.
Only
1,030 coming in.
That's all part of their effort to take some pressure off her and get more balance in their offense.
That was a really good set by Jenna Gabriel to the outside on an out-of-system ball.
Yep, setter's first job, put up something in a good location, a good speed. A hittable ball. That's a very hittable ball. And Micaiah White, with that set location, can hit with range anywhere on the court. Still going at Ruddens.
Perfect free ball pass, right side, one-on-one. Good block touch by Ruddens.
She's had a few of them.
And again with the kill. Santa Barbara now leading 14-13. Their hitting percentage is not good, Karch. After that kill, they're hitting 111. Texas being held to 238 right now. That's a good defensive effort so far by the Gauchos.
And if you go only by the numbers, you'd think, why isn't Texas winning? Well, Texas got aced a few times on this tough serving from Santa Barbara.
And also had a couple of service errors. Micaiah White again. Averaging 4 kills per set. Hitting the 3rd highest efficiency in the Big 12 Conference at 303. A couple of digs per set. Like I said, another All-American season.
And this is the point in the match where Texas makes that substitution, brings in a middle, Molly Phillips, to be a stronger right side blocker. And they'll play without their normal setter, Jenna Gabriel, on the court.
But Claire Hahn is capable, said all throughout her high school career. Wow. Lindsey Ruddens, that's about as open a net as you're ever going to get, but she missed that one into the net, trying to go downtown. We'll step aside. Texas leading by 1. Would love to have that back, but the start, look at this number, Karch. Look at that. Santa Barbara serving in with pressure.
Yeah, and you know what? You don't need to be perfect, but low error is really good. If you can get 9 out of every 10 in, you're going to be in much better shape, especially when those 9 are creating a lot of the problems, as the Gauchos have so far.
Coming out of the timeout, senior Claire Hahn from right here in Austin back to serve. And the big lineup is still on the floor for Texas. Oh, what a good swing. Really good snap once again by Tasia Farmer. And when we spoke to Nicole Lantain Welch about her recruiting and rebuilding the Santa Barbara program, which made the tournament her first year in 2013, she said, look, I want fast athletes. If you're 6 feet and springing with a really fast arm, that's who I want at Santa Barbara.
Yeah, she's not looking for tall and slow, looking for dynamic and explosive.
Nice play. Asia O'Neal sprawling out of the middle. And quickly again to the outside. That's Tori Glasker, 5'9" senior out of South Jordan, Utah. A transfer from the Utes, a really good program.
And watch O'Neal hit the floor and with her left hand keep the ball alive. I like how she didn't try to do too much with it. All you have to do is put it up in the air a couple of feet. You'll get help from your teammate. Ruddens.
Perfect pass by White.
Yeah, tough serve with better pass.
Logan Eggleston ripping out of the middle back. Right out of the pipe.
And this is one of the parts of that offense. You see somebody running down the center. You also have hitters who are real threats at either sideline, so you get a one-on-one situation. Both the wing blockers peel off. Lots of court to hit at.
That ball served out of bounds. And interesting, Coach Jared Elliott, women's college volleyball, unlike in the Olympic Games, you get 15 substitutions above and beyond the libero. So he's going offense-defense right now with Molly Phillips and Jenna Gabriel going in and out.
Absolutely.
If I didn't mention half a dozen substitutions at the Olympic level. Nice dig right on top of the net. Well played opening set by both teams. There is former NBA All-Star Jermaine O'Neal, who has been a fixture at most of the matches throughout the year with his wife Misha. Asia O'Neal talks about how much she learned about work ethic and doing the little things and taking care of yourself, and her father must be certainly proud. But also her father took care of the little things because he was in the NBA for a long time with 3 different franchises. And you don't stick in that league unless you're a real pro. Tied at 17. Shank pass right to Molly Phillips. Pretty good substitution, putting in the 6'5" freshman middle blocker for the tap down.
They've been serving at Lindsey Ruddens a lot. I blew it and called her Kim. That's her aunt who was playing in the Olympics in '84. But Ruddens has had a lot of success with her first contact until that last one. Coming back at her, that's a better first contact.
That ball stuffed straight down. Texas now one of the better blocking teams in the country with Breon Butler healthy and back in the lineup. Timeout called by Santa Barbara. Beautiful day and into the evening here in the state capital of Austin, Texas, near sellout crowd at Gregory Gym. 7 sellouts on the year for Texas. They were number 8 in terms of total attendance so far on the year. Nebraska year in, year out at the Devaney Center leads the nation. Hawaii right there as well, along with Minnesota and Wisconsin. Coming out of the timeout, Asia O'Neal to serve. Big lineup still on the floor for Texas.
And last night, Danny Wilson had some real success attacking quick for UC Santa Barbara. I'm sure they'd love to get her the ball, but they can't on that kind of pass, out of system.
Not a great set, but a wonderful aggressive swing by Eggleston. 4-0 run for Texas. What do you teach your players, non-setters, non-liberos, when they have to step in and set the ball? What are the parameters that you put around that kind of play?
The goal is to put it 3 feet inside the sideline, 3 feet off the net. That one drifted a little too far. And if it's a really tough one, just go 5x5. Another out of system first contact.
What a good swing. Tori Glasker once again. Yeah, Texas has cleaned up and really intensified its service pressure right now as once again Jared Elliott goes offense defense. Jenna Gabriel, they're currently in rotation number 6. She's in the right front.
And for this Texas team, that's been a huge focus since last spring. First contact. Improving at the service line, improving when they pass the ball. That's not a good first contact, but their history has not been great in those departments.
Wow, a break for Texas. Right there for the taking, and the Santa Barbara coaching staff does not like that a lift was called there at all.
I don't either. I think you got to let them play, Paul. Nope.
I don't see any.
But it also looked like there was a net, even though that's not what they called, and I don't think that was. I don't like the lift call.
Big break for Texas. 21-18, largest lead of the opening set. Good pass. And a better block. Was that a chance to go to Denny Wilson in the middle, as you talked about, Karch?
Well,
she had
what they tried to do is have Wilson go there and open it up, but look what Fields did basically by herself as a gnarly one-on-one blocker.
Texas's blocking numbers so far, 5 stuff blocks to none for Santa Barbara, and Texas had 10 last night. So far in the first round and through this opening set, Texas has outblocked their opponents 15-2.
And you mentioned those numbers once Butler came back. in this season because she was out for an extended period. I think she's been they've been over 3 blocks per set once she came back.
And when she was out, they were at 2-1, 2-2. And that's not good enough. Look at that.
There it is.
That's an amazing increase. And Breon Butler is like a rim protector in basketball. Makes hitters very uncomfortable. And when you add to that, Texas's outside blockers in White, Eggleston, and Fields are very, very capable.
You just saw the monster block Fields put up. That's where Texas can have their middles take some chances, knowing that they're going to get great help. The one blocker for Texas who can struggle, and we can see how they use their substitution patterns to cover for that, is Jenna Gabriel. Clearly the blocking target on the Texas team at 5'8".
What you give up there in terms of her size. Molly Phillips now the offense-defense substitution. Texas is hitting .367 so far on the night. Eggleston 5 of 6, Micaiah White 3 of 10, Asia O'Neal. That's a really good sign for Texas that O'Neal not only has 3 kills, but that's on 4 swings. So she's coming on with respect to the slide. Big moment here for Santa Barbara in this opening set. Trailing 22-18.
O'Neal only had 5 swings last night, by far the fewest in the offense. Want to feed her the ball more.
Good pass, and there it is into the middle to the outstanding middle blocker out of Los Angeles, a 6'2" Denny Wilson.
Yeah, she hit a cool .467 last night when they had the good first pass. She was one of their best weapons.
Good bump set, and off the edge of the block and out of bounds, off the block into the antenna. So point and possession back to Eggleston and Texas, 2 points away from the opening set. Santa Barbara got to pass better, don't they? I mean, much better.
If they can, with the speed of their offense, I think they can give this very strong blocking team of Texas some fits. There's just not enough time.
Well, you talked about the emphasis for Coach Jared Elliott, his fine staff, Tanya Johnson and Eric Sullivan. First contact. Most people think of that in terms of receive, but they were talking about it in terms of serving as well. Good read by Ruddens.
Miscommunication between Ruddens and Levenberg.
They're going to get another crack at it. Ruddens, that ball was set off the net, but a very, very smart shot. Off-speed roll into the middle of the court.
You're exactly right. You saw how Ruddens was expecting that 2 or 3 feet off, and it went 7 feet off. What a great adjustment by Lindsey Ruddens.
Let's take a look at Ruddens' numbers, because she is vitally important to their hopes, they being the Gauchos' hopes tonight. Pretty good start, 4 of 8, couple of errors. Santa Barbara hitting only 143. Texas hitting 364, but too many hitting errors for Santa Barbara, and that's a function of poor passing, I think, trying to do too much. 28 swings, 8 errors.
5 blocks, and then 3 just
out of bounds.
Right, yep, out of bounds. I think one strategy you can use against a great blocking team like Texas is, if you don't have the swing, take something off of it. Tap it into the block, actually make the block your friend, and it's easy for your team to play defense off of that and get a whole new offensive set.
23-21 opening set here in Austin, Texas. And the Florida Gators, the number 10 overall seed. We were watching that for a while, Carts. That was a real battle against the University of Central Florida. Big story there. We thought Thayer Hall not in the lineup, so got to check on that. Minnesota, Creighton, Fairfield still to come, and a good one going on. Western Kentucky, the number 15 overall seed, taking on a really good team out of the ACC in Louisville. This set has been very, very close throughout. Texas led 15-14 at the media timeout. 19-17 when the Santa Barbara Gauchos called a timeout. And as usual, the crowd is into it here at Gregory. That's a good tough serve by Fleck. Good read in the backcourt by Glasker. And off the block and out of bounds. Froley was there along with some help from Ennis, but just off the edge of the block. Set points. Is just absolutely ripped into the cross court. Another kill for Lindsey Ruddens. As you mentioned, Karch, her Aunt Kim, 1984 Olympian and silver medalist, one of the great teams of all time representing the United States.
First ever medal winning team. First medal won by any American volleyball team.
Set point again. White. Beautifully placed and time tip over the top. Micaiah White with her 5th kill of the opening set. It was a tough one, as we had managed. Good battle between Texas and Santa Barbara. The Longhorns up 1-9.
I think that Gregory Gym is so hard to play at because our fans are just like really into the game and they know what's going on and they're always just like cheering so loud.
The students are awesome. Like they're just getting in people's heads and they are always loud no matter what. The band is awesome. They always like have cheers going on. They're playing music. They're into the game. It's awesome.
It's just really hard to play in there if you're not Texas.
Just the way it kind of goes down, like it just feels like everyone's on the court. You take a step to your left, you could be landing on a Hellraiser. So there's just not a lot of room to move, so it just feels like all of our fans are kind of fighting with us.
It's so intimate and everybody's just kind of like right on top of the court. Everybody's right there and super close. It's so loud in there. It's just an amazing environment to be a part of.
Well, playing at home the first couple of rounds of the NCAA tournament, and maybe the first 4 rounds, has proven to be pretty valuable for Texas.
And they have earned a very solid number 2 seed overall. So if they keep winning, they can play 4 matches in this tournament, in this gym, where they have that massive home court advantage. 16 years in a row hosting.
In the NCAA tournament, Texas has won 35 tournament matches in a row in Gregory Gym. Their last loss was in 2005. 3 national championships, 2012 and in 1988. They also won in 1981, and that was an AIAW championship. That was the same year that the NCAA started this championship. We're in the 39th year, but that year Texas decided to stay and play in the AIAW, and they went on to win it. Gabriel to serve. Open the second set. And that ball drifts just long, and Logan Eggleston continues to light it up so far in the NCAA tournament. All Big 12 and All-American performer at the outside hitting position. Was outstanding in last year's NCAA tournament. This is her 6th match. You know, and in the NCAA tournament, it's against pretty good teams. She's hit .466. Fields, who had a big swing at the end of the first set off the edge of the block and out of bounds.
Texas having a lot of success going at that right hand of the right side blockers, in that case Froley. I think Santa Barbara needs to do a little better job. They're in a good spot. They're getting the touch. It's just going out by a foot. They have to turn that hand in more.
Texas hit .389 in the opening set. Remember, they're the top offensive efficiency team in the country. And a good block. Breon Butler right there working against Ennis.
Yeah, when you pass your setter, who's 5'8", that close, and all she can do is one-hand it, Butler's going to eat those for breakfast.
An easy read, but Butler at 6'4", long-armed and a big jumper. She just ate that up. Nice pass by Glasker. And a touch. Looking for a touch off the top of the block, and indeed the Texas blockers say no, so we might have our first challenge of the evening. The officials called that there was a touch off the top of the block, but the Texas players were quite emphatic and demonstrative about it. Here's our first look. Again, you can challenge a touch off the block or not, ball in or out, ball up or down, 4 contacts, foot fault on the service line, foot fault on the 3-meter line. 3 challenges per match, but if the match goes the distance to the 15-point tiebreaker, each team will get an additional challenge.
The best thing about that challenge is they got to it in about 6 seconds. There wasn't a 40-second conversation first. Tough to tell there.
And once again, it was called a touch, so the video evidence has to be 100% conclusive that there was no touch in order for the call to be reversed. What do you think, Karch?
I'm noticing all the tape on those fingers. That's a Texas tradition. They tape every knuckle to try to lower the chances of a broken finger, but I cannot tell here. And I know the Texas coaching staff was frustrated. They feel like there was no touch and they don't want to burn one of those precious challenges. You only get 3 in the first 4 sets.
It was a good high, hard, flat swing by Ruddens. It's just a matter of millimeters or less whether or not there was a touch.
As you said, the evidence has to be very clear to overturn. I'm not seeing a touch on that. In the angles that we've seen, I'm not seeing a touch, but I don't know if that's clear enough evidence to reverse the call.
I'll tell you one thing for you young players out there, look at Skylar Fields. That's pretty good technique for an outside blocker. Touch or no touch.
Yeah, the only thing she could do better is she's ducking her head and not looking at the hitter. And part of that is when you're up that high, you don't want to get hit in the face.
That's right.
When you're up in the stratosphere. But it's helpful to watch the hitter all the way through contact rather than ducking your head. But boy, is she getting those hands way across the net.
Decision has been made, and we are told that the call will stand. Santa Barbara volleyball and point, and Ruddens now registers her 5th kill on 10 swings, having a good match so far.
And Coach Jared Elliott not happy about having to burn a challenge on what they thought was a clear outswing, no touch.
Romani Vivao, one of the 2 setters deployed by head coach Nicole Lontaine Welch, on to serve. Ruddens having to make the first contact, takes her out of transition. Nice stab by Gabriel. Nice block out of the middle by Ennis. Good work in transition for the Santa Barbara middle blocker. Yeah, look at the look on her. She was going to go behind the setter, Vivao, and we ended up going in front. And there was a little bit of miscommunication. Almost caused a big problem.
Nice read. There is a height and jump advantage, but if you can read and just get hands across the net, you can get good touches, just like Ennis did on that play.
Off speed and out of bounds by Ruddens. We've talked about it. It is not that easy to set Breon Butler, even though she's 6'4" and a magnificent athlete. Why is it so difficult, and how important is it for Texas to smooth that out?
Well, and it was a challenge because she was out for a while, but when she's 6'4" and jumps out of the gym and her setter's 5'8" and doesn't jump as high, there's a big height difference, or difference between the contact where Gabriel's hands touch the ball and then the much higher contact where Butler's going to have to attack it. We'll try to show you that later.
Lift called against Vivao. Texas leading by 1. Nice pass by Fleck. Dug by Gabriel right on top of the net. And Mikhail White hitting high off the hands and into the deep portion of the court. Nice play by Texas.
Really nice work in transition. You could see it in the backcourt. Remember, we've already seen some good swings there from the backcourt outside hitter. And in that case, Logan Eggleston was a threat also, and that just is overwhelming for blockers.
That is half a dozen service errors for Jared Elliott's Longhorns so far on the night. If you're just joining us, really good and hard-fought opening set. Texas won it in the end, 25-22. Fields down the line. Skylar Fields was big last night against UAlbany and continues to put up nice numbers. Texas hitting .381 so far in the match.
Yeah, last night she was a cool .692. And it looks effortless for her. If you set her at the right height, she could just go up and go over the block. She finds that high seam a lot.
Good pass by Ruddens. And a nice rip into the seam. Tori Glasker along with the freshman Tasia Farmer, both out of Utah. They have been finding some, and is that the quick offense that Santa Barbara needs?
It absolutely is. You start with a great first contact and then set it to where opposing blockers have less than a second to react and try to get to the right spot at either sideline.
Texas fans wanted a lift. Vival had to make the first contact. What a good swing down the line. Just having a great time is Tasia Farmer, the 6-foot freshman, ripping down the line. Farmer so far on the night, 4 kills on 8 swings. And the overall hitting efficiency for Santa Barbara is climbing.
And she's taken fearless swings. She is not afraid of this Texas block at all.
That ball off the top of the block. Good swing by Eggleston, who records her 6th kill on 7 swings. Kat Bell and Haley Eckerman, or were those 2 stars for Texas? No question about it. 2-time National Player of the Year and a huge part of that 2012 championship team. And that ball missed out of bounds. 7 service errors.
You mentioned Haley Eckerman watching, somebody like Bailey Webster. This is where Texas is looking to break the mold a little. Now they have 2 outside hitters in Micaiah White and Logan Eggleston, who are staying on the court full time, passing a lot of the time, learning to play the most all-around game possible. With a pass like that, which is not a great one, goes over the net.
Gabriel did a pretty good job keeping that ball alive for Texas, and then off the edge again by Glasker. Through the first 4 sets of the NCAA tournament, Santa Barbara has no service errors, not one. And they've been serving with pressure. Texas so far on the night has 7 service errors. Free ball here to the Gauchos. Oh, look at that. Give Micaiah White another kill. Wow, that was really careless for Santa Barbara.
It sure was. You're going to watch the setter clear out, and it leaves space there. The Gauchos didn't do a good enough job with Ruddens in the backcourt and with Fleck, and those 2 trying to cover the whole court so they can free the setter up to run her offense.
Not a good set, and Santa Barbara paying the price. You cannot make an offensive error setting or attacking against this Texas block. That is their 8th block as O'Neal continues to serve. Eggleston sprawling, but very, very nice timing by Tallulah Froley so far on the night. Been pretty quiet after career-high 18 kills so far. Only 6 attempts so far. Are you surprised by that low number? Karch playing out of the opposite?
Yep. I think they've been emphasizing Ruddens more. Remember, they're trying to run a more balanced offense, but just feel like they're getting their most success with her taking the swings, and I get it as to why.
Oh, nice set in transition. That was beautifully delivered by Olivia Lovenberg to the right side to Tallulah Froley, who we were just talking about.
And I like that she went back to Froley. Remember, Froley early took some swings that were just clamped, roofed by Texas. Got to keep her involved in the offense.
Fleck not able to get underneath that ball. Let's give you some scoring and bracket updates from around the tournament. Utah has advanced 3-2 over Illinois. And if BYU advances, wow, a matchup against the Cougars in-state rivalry after the Utes have to go 5 sets in order to get into the second round. Georgia out of the SEC, up 2-0 over Cal Poly.
And a crazy one, Texas A&M was down and now up 30-29 in the second set.
Ruddens again, no, out of the middle and missed out of bounds. That ball was missed by Denny Wilson, a costly error. That's a couple of them in this set for Santa Barbara when they have no margin for error.
But you have the block, like Breon Butler in front of you. You're going to try and find a little more space or avoid her a little more, so that intimidating block of Texas is creating points even if they don't touch the ball.
That ball served out of bounds. 8 service errors. Karch, what do you tell your Olympic team about the percentage of serves in, out, and is this too many? 8 at this stage of the match.
Well, for our standard, we want to get 9 out of 10 in. I don't know what Texas's is, and they have a couple of high error, high risk servers. One of them is Eggleston, who just touched the ball there. Kaboom! From Breon Butler, and the other is Micaiah White. So they are using a serve that leads to more errors. What a great first touch, and nicely executed by Gabriel. See how high she puts this ball so that Butler can hit with a fully extended elbow.
Here's one of your high-risk servers. This is Eggleston, into good effect here. Nice dig by White. Froley down the line, joust coming, and tipped to the floor. Nice play by Rowan Innes. That ball was ruled. Just one slice of that ball has to be on top of the net.
Looked like she had about 2 millimeters.
That was a very, if you like thick crust, that was not your play. You need thin crust here.
I was waiting because that call could have gone either way.
Yeah,
you and I were both waiting was for the referee, who could have called her reaching across the net to touch the ball.
Here is Vivau, tied at 12. And Fleck cannot get there. Breon Butler, you saw the one scud missile that she hit into the wrist away corner. When all systems are go, she can be an unstoppable force out of the middle, and Texas needs to get there.
But she's also wise because sometimes she has the good set and will purposefully hit that soft shot, and it's a great choice because everybody's waiting for the scud.
Yeah, all the defenders are tightening their chin straps.
Making sure their life insurance is...
Oh my gosh. Nice response out of UC Santa Barbara. Again, 23-5 on the year. Have not been in the tournament since 2013. Ruddens had 18 kills last night against a very good team from Texas State, tied at 13. Carbon copy of the opening set. Dug by Fleck, but that's going to be out of bounds after a really good pass by Eggleston.
And A&M coming back. They were way up in the first, 14-5, and lost it to Rice, but then way down in the second, come back to win 32-30. That looks like another great match.
And if you want to check out that match, at least for a minute, it is available on ESPN+. Easy read for Hahn. Not a good set in transition. Way too tight. White smartly off the top of the block for the score. Really smart shot by number 1, Micaiah White. We have come to the media timeout. Texas leading 1-0 in 15-13. The Trojans out of the Pac-12, of course, have advanced. And Baylor up Marquette, a very good team. Remember, they won at Wisconsin early this year, taking on a Purdue team seeded at number 16. That is going to be a really good second-round match. What do you think about Baylor and USC?
Assuming Baylor finishes off Sacred Heart, that's going to be a tough one for USC. Baylor looks so strong. If Baylor gets those 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people out like they did against Texas, man, they were tough a few weeks ago in that rematch.
Khalil Lanier and Brooke Botkin are going to have to be huge for USC. The only time it's happened that a conference has put the number 1 and 2 seed into the women's NCAA volleyball tournament, USC and Stanford, Nebraska, Minnesota, and this year Baylor and Texas. USC did go on to win the national championship in 2002. Former Texas head coach and Hall of Famer Mick Haley heading up the Trojan effort that year, and they put it back-to-back in 2003 as well. Stanford won in 16.
And for Texas, Jenna Gabriel. Serving for the Gauchos, number 2.
Rowan Ennis, 6'1" junior out of Virginia Beach, will go back to serve. First hitting error in this run for Logan Eggleston. Good read. What a nice read for a freshman middle blocker, Denny Wilson.
You're right, Paul. You'll see a lot more of that good read ability from juniors and seniors. But Wilson all over that. And especially because Jenna Gabriel doesn't look to do that a lot.
Nice. Good dig by Ennis, the middle blocker.
We saw her do some of that last night.
Ruddens, what a long run that time for Sydney Peterson, the libero for Texas out of Iowa, unable to get there.
It's such a bonus when you can have a middle who not only does well in the front court, but can serve a tough serve, create a scoring opportunity with her defense. That's just what Rowan Ennis did on that play for UC Santa Barbara.
Having a really good year, about 2 kills per set, hitting .330, over a block per set. That is a solid performance in a very good league. And that is the first service error in this year's NCAA tournament. On the 98th serve, Santa Barbara made an error.
Okay, so they're well above 90% in. All right.
I'm doing them. That's about 98.3% in. Tied at 16.
And now a higher risk serve coming. And Mikhail White's been fighting this for a few years, just in terms of how consistently she can hit this ball in. That time, lots of trouble she caused.
That was a good swing to keep Santa Barbara ahead in the point. And Phillips is stuffed. What a good swing on the perimeter by freshman Tasia Farmer on a clearly way out of system play.
Number 10, Olivia.
And Phillips came in to bolster the right side blocking. She's at her best, I think, running middle hitter routes. That's not the easiest swing for her to take out of system.
O'Neal on the slide, number 7 in white, registers the kill. Now 4 kills on 5 swings so far on the night. Texas hitting .350 overall, although they've cooled off a bit here, .292 in the second set. And Santa Barbara, little by little, is increasing their hitting percentage. Perfect pass. And shot over nicely. What a good read. Remember, the Santa Barbara setters are always in the back court, so she has to shoot that ball from below the height of the net. That was Olivia Levenberg.
That's right. Some part of the ball has to be below the top of the net tape. And just as Gabriel is judicious for Texas with her use of attacks as a setter, so are the Santa Barbara setters.
White slowed out of the back row. Now to Eggleston. And Froley able to deflect that ball inside of Breon Butler, away from the digger, and Santa Barbara now leads 19-17. Timeout called by Texas. We'll be back on LHN with the NCAA tournament right after this.
SPI Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Coming up next, Texas Game Day Final. We'll be back for a total breakdown from the second round match against UC Santa Barbara and the Texas Longhorns. That's Texas Game Day Final after the match on the Longhorn Network. What has Santa Barbara done differently here to take a little bit of advantage in the latter stages of this second set? Remember, very similar to the first, but it was the Gauchos who faded.
Yeah, I think they're taking smarter swings. Fewer stuff blocks by Texas. That last swing by Froley, she took a little something off the ball and slipped it inside the block of the middle blocker Butler.
Froley's going to get another look in transition, going high flat. Eggleston. Oh, Ruddens has got to make that play.
You know, when you go to make a pancake like that, Paul, you can't just come to a stop. You have to accelerate through the ball. And Ruddens was there. She's absolutely capable of making that play.
Maybe a chance that Ruddens wanted to stay upright, hoping somebody else, another Gaucho, would come in and play the ball so she could be available to attack. But that was a ball that should have come up at a very critical juncture of this match, let alone set. 19-18, Texas trailing.
And especially when Gabriel, who is now in the backcourt, was still up front as a weaker blocker.
Quickly to the outside, and Ruddens coming right back. What a career she has had. 4.4 kills per set, hitting 280 for the Gauchos on the year.
Watch the speed of this set. It doesn't even get as high as the antenna. There's space around the right side blocker, Logan Eggleston in that case. She attacks it.
Tight pass, pretty good reaction by Butler, but an important point once again for Santa Barbara. 3-point advantage, 21-18.
Fleck's been scoring a lot. She opened up with a nice run on her serve.
Tight set. Foley off the edge and down, and what a first that ball was spinning like a helicopter, and Fleck just stepped right in and delivered it on cue.
Well done by Fleck to keep that on her side so that they could set either pin. Froley and Ruddens was ready too.
Lindsey Ruddens has led Santa Barbara back into this match as they try to tie it up at a set apiece. Santa Barbara hit 312 against Texas in the second set.
Yeah, Texas really cooling off, and it starts with that tough serving. That's something Coach Lantain Welch said. We have to serve really tough and then run the speed of our offense in transition, just like you see there. See how far away that setter was, and she flung it out to the left sideline, so Ruddens had some line to swing at.
And Ruddens continues. I mean, 4 times first team all-conference, 3 times she's been an honorable mention All-American. She should move up on that list this year, and doing it against one of the most imposing blocks in the country.
And she's got to be way fresher now that she's taken 600 less swings than she did last season. Now she's ready to deliver heat far into the NCAA tournament.
Texas has not lost a set in this building in the last 20. The last was in 2016. Remember that epic battle against BYU? Wow.
BYU was up big in the 5th, something like 11-6, 12-6, and Texas came back when it looked nearly hopeless.
The advantage of playing at home. You beat BYU, you do it in this building, then you play Creighton the next night, and you qualify for the national semifinals. Texas, the number 2 overall seed, Baylor number 1, Stanford 3, and Wisconsin number 4.
And Texas brings Roundsville in, backing off a little with their libero Peterson, looking for a little upgrade in serve reception.
And a lollipop serve. Boy, that had nothing on it. Good block touch, however.
Got Ruddens on the left.
Going off speed. Good read by Gabriel. Ruddens with a nice dig. Froley down the line. Really good setting by Lovenberg and Vavau, going against the flow.
Exactly. Moving forward, as Lovenberg does there. Moving forward and then setting back. And Froley doing a much better job of finding her spots after those first few stuffs she suffered.
Breon Butler. Back to Froley for a minute. Again, 18 career-high kills last night against Texas State. And you're right, Karch. The freshman out of Half Moon Bay has really smoothed it out. She's now 7 of 12, hitting over 330. That's solid.
How about that choice by Jenna Gabriel to set from 12 feet off the net, force the middle, got the kill to Butler.
Good server at the line. Not a good free ball pass. And Mikaela White missed it out of bounds. Texas is looking for a touch. Remember, Texas already used 1 challenge. They only have 2 remaining.
All the players are saying there was a touch, but the coaching staff, especially Coach Eric Sullivan, saying, nah, let's just keep playing. That wasn't something we can win a challenge on.
5 set points for the visitors from Santa Barbara. Dug right on top of the net by Fleck. And tipped to the floor. Nice reaction and run by Rowan Innes. And Texas, that is their first set they have lost at home in the NCAA tournament in a long, long time, going back 21 sets to be exact. Wow, they were superb in several phases of the game. We're the visiting Gauchos in the second. Transition opportunities. First look for Rudden. Smart shot up into the block. Offensive rebound and restart. And Froley, who you pointed out, Karch, got off to a little bit of a poor start. 2 of 5 in the opening set. 3 errors. She is now 6 for her last 8. No errors.
And hitting like she did for her first 20 swings against Texas State last night. Fearless. There's that nice high contact and good timing.
That was the third example.
That was the third example.
Well, it's almost unstoppable.
Yeah. There is really nothing you can do, and Fleck is trying to dig and just has to cover her head. Another missile coming across.
Oh, a double contact call. Wow. What do you think about that call, Karch?
I would rather let them play. I mean, I'm old school. I used to think, okay, every ball has to be clean, no rotations, not a half a rotation. But I'd rather let the players decide. And when it has that kind of spin, it's almost always not a very good set anyway.
Right. What advantage was gained?
You don't have any advantage.
Yeah, you have a foul in basketball or a violation in other sports because you've illegally gained an advantage. There was none there. Nice play that time out of the middle by Denny Wilson.
Yeah, when it's a poor touch, it's almost always not going where the setter meant it to go anyway. And there's an ace.
Shank pass out of bounds. The service story for Santa Barbara, and that was one of the 3 areas that Nicole Lantain Welsh emphasized. She said speed. I think she said it very fast 5 times. Speed, speed, speed. But she said also serve lights out.
Fleck has been having a lot of success with her serve coming cross court.
Rudden's quickly in transition off the top of the block and down. Rudden's now with 10 kills on 21 swings. As far as digs are concerned, we'll give you those totals as well. Fleck now credited with only 6. Remember, she had 19 through the first 2 sets last night. Tough serve. Just the second miss for Santa Barbara so far on the night. Santa Barbara, I mentioned, they were 23-5 in conference. Excuse me, 23-5 overall, 12-4 in the Big West. Their RPI, the final RPI, had Santa Barbara at number 34. So they are punching above their weight class right now. That one that Santa Barbara would like to have back. Glasgow missed it. Update quickly on the Baylor bracket. The number 1 seeded Baylor Bears, co-champions with Texas in the Big 12 Conference. They have advanced. That's going to be one I'm going to watch tomorrow against USC, and also should be very competitive, Marquette and Purdue. Good rhythm, good speed, good rhythm. That's something that you emphasize on your team, isn't it, Card? Speed to the pin.
Absolutely. When you have the ball control to do it, when you can put that first contact, make your setter or allow her to stand close to the net, center of the court, then you have options in lots of areas of the court, and just a fraction of a second for the opposing blockers to respond.
Here is Vival, one of the 2 setters, on now replacing Lovenberg. Off the edge of the block. That's 2 that Glasgow. Tori Glasgow, their best receiver and a really high-level defender for Santa Barbara, wearing number 23 in blue. That's a couple of early chances in this 3rd set that she'd like to have back.
I think she can make that play. She went with 1 arm. You need to go with 2 forearms. Double the surface area is double the control.
Right side, Rudden's over the top and down. There was a net violation called against Texas, even if that ball had been kept in play.
Also got to give a lot of credit to Zoe Fleck, really holding up well in serve receive tonight. She did for part of the match last night against Texas State, but solid so far. That's what UC Santa Barbara needs to run that fast offense.
Should Texas be avoiding her more?
I think they should. Got to Got to put more pressure on other passers and try to make Ruddens carry a larger load.
Right side on the slide. Look at that dig. See, if the previous one was a double contact, then that one should have been called a double as well. That's inconsistent officiating, and Jared Elliott complaining about exactly the same thing.
But that's the problem, because the play before, Gabriel had a set that came out with some spin, and now the Santa Barbara bench is up calling for it. Once you call one of those, you just create all kinds of problems for yourself. I think you got to let all but the horrendous ones go.
Another chance in transition. Not a very good set. Good read by Eggleston, was all over that.
Nice hustle.
That was Glasgow chasing that down. Good contact here. A little pinball defense on the slide again and off the edge and out of bounds. Coach Jared Elliott up off the sideline. He senses that Santa Barbara is playing at a very, very high level. He's in for a battle.
And you could also sense that Gabriel is trying to find, as Elliott is getting the crowd going there, Gabriel's trying to find the hot hand, so she'll try somebody in the rally, then goes elsewhere. But she rarely repeats within the rally, trying to find a kill.
Pretty good set in transition. Micaiah White getting the ball up to number 33, Eggleston. 10 kills now for Eggleston. Micaiah White has 11. Through the block and down. Once again, Tasia Farmer coming through. They're big arms and then they're fast arms. Her arm is fast.
Farmer and Froley taking fearless swings against this intimidating block.
She had 6 kills last night in a real battle against Texas State. Nice read by Ruddens. White out of the back row. Nice dig by the middle blocker, Ennis. And then missed out of bounds. A net violation. Net violation called against Texas. A break for Santa Barbara. Their lead is 9-7. Yeah, there it is. That's a perfect look. And it is a break for the Gauchos.
Eggleston knew she was one-on-one, trying to make a big move.
On the slide again. That one missed badly. Texas need a timeout here, Karch? Yep, they do. They do.
We agree with Coach Elliott.
Texas calls timeout, trailing by 3 here in the third. In Lexington, the 9th-seeded Wildcats out of Kentucky have advanced.
Nice hustle.
Free ball coming to Texas, and they need to convert. Oh, good block. On the outside, Tori Glasgow getting a lot of help out of the middle. Again, the freshman Wilson is doing an outstanding job, number 20 in blue. And now Asia O'Neal will go to the sideline, and Molly Phillips, very, very capable 6'5" freshman out of Mansfield, Texas. 4-0 run for Santa Barbara.
Give big props to Glasgow. She's made some great moves on that slide attack. So Texas looking for more offense from Phillips.
Oh, good block touch, but mishandled. Not great ball handling here, but Santa Barbara is continuing to play. Eric Sullivan, associate head coach for Texas, wanted a back row blocking violation. Remember, the setter for Santa Barbara, whether it's Lovenberg or Vivau, you thought she was below the height of the net, Karch. Okay.
That's what the referee said. I don't know that I could see it from our angle, but the referee said nope, she was below the height of the net. Legal play.
Ace serve. Santa Barbara is hitting .529 here in the third set. They have improved dramatically each and every set. Now, how will Texas respond? We knew the Santa Barbara Gauchos were very capable, but wow, are they putting a lot of pressure on Texas. Tied at 1 set apiece and with a 13-7 advantage now. And looking at the numbers, remember after Santa Barbara's relatively slow offensive start, they're now out-hitting Texas by 40 points.
In this set, Texas is only hitting 158, less than half their season average, which is the nation leading average of 319. Starts with the tough serving. We just saw Ennis with an ace. Her serve is very effective coming from that corner, going across to the other corner. Another out of system pass for Texas.
That ball down the line. Boy, did Texas need that. Serving has been such a huge story for Santa Barbara. It's not all about the aces and the errors. They've been so consistent. Good location. They're serving the right opponent, but they do have 5 aces against just only 2 errors. Texas, 8 errors, no aces. Phillips staying on when she played early in the place of Breon Butler, had 11 kills against Stanford. This is a very, very capable freshman. Nice play. Speaking of capable, Ruddens again out of the back row. Ruddens now with 13 kills.
What's good about that Santa Barbara offense is they haven't used that this much. If you do it too much, you're going to have 3 blockers in front of you. But going selectively like that gave Ruddens a lot more court to look at with only 1 blocker.
14-8, plenty of time for Texas to get back into this third set. That's a couple of big swings by the outstanding sophomore, 6'2" Logan Eggleston out of Brentwood, Tennessee, who just turned 19.
Yeah, and out of all their hitters, with Eggleston being over 450, that's the hot hand. You want to try and get her the ball.
Well, as a freshman last year, she was the best attacker for the Texas Longhorns before they ran into Stanford and were eliminated in the regional finals. One-on-one again to the outside. Look at the job the passers and setters for Santa Barbara are doing.
I mean, there's not a blocker even close on this play. Butler gets stuck in the middle, and one-on-one, even if you have a strong blocker, that's a battle a hitter should win 90% of the time.
The 2 setters, number 10 on the floor right now for Santa Barbara, Olivia Lovenberg, 5'8" sophomore out of San Diego. Made the Big West All Freshman team last year when she ran a 5'1". But Vival was so good, and the coaching staff for Santa Barbara wanted to bring in some more heat and a little better defense, and so it has worked very well. Overpass.
Ooh, that might have been going out.
Right side to Fields, who has been quiet for a while, but firing it up here with a couple of fist pumps. Eggleston and Texas trailing by 4. And now trailing by 5, the 9th service error. This is a big, loud, very enthusiastic, very concerned crowd right now.
And coming up to the line, another effective server for Santa Barbara, Zoe Fleck.
McKay White. Texas is having success down the line as opposed to hitting towards the defenders. That's something they should do more of.
Yeah, they've definitely been having more success hitting off that right hand. We saw it especially in the first set, that outside hand, for example, of Tallulah Froley. Ooh, that's an easy one.
Froley down the line. A setter's job is location first, maybe one-on-one second. How many times have we seen Santa Barbara hitters one-on-one? It's just good offense.
Absolutely. They have threats in all parts of the court. At either sideline and in the middle. And it's causing problems for that Texas block.
Tallulah Froley to the sideline, 10 of 15, hitting over 450. To Ruddens, was demanding it, off-speed shot. Good set to Fields, who's blocked. Ruddens on the outside with some help from Innes, and the lead now is 18 to 12.
And you could see Innes, she just stood over there. She knew the only place that ball would really go would be the back set. And so the Gauchos put up a very well-formed block.
Fifth stuff block for Santa Barbara. That is just pitcher-catcher, Fleck in a perfect spot. Oh, they're ruling that ball cleared. When I saw this play live, I did not think the swing by Taja Farmer cleared and caught a piece of the block.
Let's take a look. Often oh yeah, that did touch.
Yep, and I was wrong.
When it's in real time, it often looks like it doesn't touch, but when you get the slow-mo replay, that's one internationally we'll challenge all the time, because 90% of the time it turns out the block touched the ball.
Rattled up off the top of the tape, off the edge of the blocker's hand for Texas, and into the antenna.
In real time, it's just really hard to see the ball touch anything but the net.
Santa Barbara leading Texas 19-12. Vivao is continuing to serve. And misses that out of bounds. So went 97 straight serves without an error, and now they got a couple over the last 5 or 6 turns at the line. What does Texas have to do here, Karch? They seem to be a little bit in disarray and feeling the pressure.
Well, I think they got to get back to their nation's most efficient offense. In this set, they're only hitting .222. In the previous one, it was about the same. They got to get back to their good first contact. The better pass, better set and swing.
That ball's into the antenna and out of bounds, missed by Farmer. Still time for Texas to get back in this third set. Texas won the opener 25-22. Santa Barbara came back a 12-4 run to close out the second set, won at 25-19. What a brilliant set by Romani Vivao. At 5'7", that ball passed right on top of the net.
Yeah, and Coach Jared Elliott didn't like something about that. I thought it was a great play. She had no inches to spare to get that beautiful and well-timed, very fast set out to the sideline. We call that a go, and UCSB's been crushing those.
Farmer's hitting .375, ripped out of the backcourt. What a dig by Fleck. And again, Taja Farmer now with 9 kills on 17 swings, hitting close to 400.
But everything Santa Barbara did on that play was great. The dig by Fleck, the set by Vivao. Wow.
5th kill for Farmer here in the third. Tough chance for Glasgow. Didn't have much of an approach, but gets it done. And this lead is starting to feel very comfortable, 22-14.
We talked about it early, Paul. It's the transition. Santa Barbara's not going to get a lot of stuffs, but they're going to come up with digs. And can they run their fast offense off it? They've been doing it. extremely effectively.
Oh, that was just too good. Micaiah White almost at the 3-meter line. Yeah, Santa Barbara, they've got 5 stuffs, but 15, 20 really quality block deflections that are creating transition opportunities, which was what Nicole Lantaine Welch, in her 7th year as head coach for Santa Barbara, was demanding. Ori Obaji, a 6'3" senior out of Kansas City, on the floor now, wearing number 34 in white. Obaji has played sparingly during her 4 years here at Texas. That ball, oh, it's saved, kept alive. Good work by Texas. Lasker mistimed, and that ball out of the reach of Peterson, and now it is 23-15.
That's got to be one of the more unique kills that Glasker's had this season. Barely made contact with the ball. Gets it down for a kill.
Ennis back to serve. Middle blocker has been superb for the Gauchos so far on the night, and misses that out of bounds. Some errors starting to creep in a little bit, and it's offense defensive switch again because Phillips came in to replace O'Neal. Now it's Obaji who's coming in to replace Gabriel.
Yep, they're trying to bolster the block, get a better right side block.
Tough serve. Eggleston through the block and down. Now Santa Barbara's got to start thinking about it as far as calling a timeout. They led 10-7. They have led comfortably now 22, make it 23-17. Hadn't seen Phillips serve much this year. That was a pretty good hard flat serve. And another tight pass. That's going to be blocking the set. Violation on Breon Butler. Vival below the height of the net. Ball on her side, and Butler interfered with the play. Set points now for Santa Barbara. Lovenberg on to serve. We talk about Rudden's offense. She's now got 12 digs. That's most on the team for Santa Barbara. Ball tapped to the floor. Set point again for Santa Barbara. One saved by the Longhorns. Gabriel now in the backcourt, so you won't see the offense to defense switch. Right side into the cross court, and ball's clear up into the banner, but the ball drops straight down, and another kill off the right side by Santa Barbara. And a stunner here in Gregory Gym. Yep, the fans are as nervous as can be. What will happen in the 4th set? Texas in the second, 5:30. Santa Barbara just hit 533 against this Texas block and defense.
Against this Texas block and D.
All right, Karch, you've been down in some big matches when you were at UCLA, when you were on the Olympic teams, and now coaching the USA Women's Olympic team. What would be your message to Texas?
Well, I'll tell you what you don't want to do, what you and I were just talking about. What happens if they lose? Who's going to be hosting the regionals? You can't go anywhere beyond this next play, your next task. And know that if you get your job done, each of the 6 players on the floor and all the other players off the floor, they are capable of coming back. They've shown it that they're capable of that through the season.
Rip into the cross court, and this is a dramatic change. Sydney Peterson has been a fixture at the libero position for Jared Elliott in Texas since she came to Austin, and she has been replaced by Autumn Rounsaville, whose role has been diminishing through the course of the season. She's a very reliable defensive specialist, but what do you think about this switch and maybe the message that it sends to Texas?
It can be interpreted either way. It could be interpreted as a panic move or as a, look, if somebody's struggling, we've got to upgrade. The other thing Texas did is they changed the matchups. In the first 2, they started with Janet Gabriel at the service line or in right back. Instead, they started her in left front.
Nice play. Claire Hahn keeps the ball alive. Crowley is blocked.
Great hustle by Hahn and Gabriel.
Ruddens again, dug by White. Brilliant defense. Butler with a kill. Smart shot by Lindsay Ruddens off the left side inside the 3-meter line. Romani Vavao will go back to serve. Eggleston nicely over the top. Well, the home crowd here at Gregory, this is one of the wonderful places to play in all of collegiate volleyball, and there are many, but this crowd is, well, they just, some of them are starting to sit down now, but I don't think many will. They're doing their part. The top of the block and out of bounds. Ruddens now with 16 kills on 33 swings, hitting 384, make it 394. That's an All-American night. She's been All-American, honorable mention the last 3 years. Shank pass. Santa Barbara looking for the early tie. And they get it, ripped into the cross court by Tori Glasker.
Texas still having serve receive problems. They focused on that last spring, trying to get that. The big mantra was first contact. Put that serve receive right where our setter needs it. And that's another one that pulls her off her mark.
Eggleston and Ruddens cannot make the play defensively. Logan Eggleston carrying Texas right now. She and Micaiah White right there is the lead. You wouldn't be surprised by that. 15 kills on 28 swings. Hit 500 Logan Eggleston is.
Got to get her the ball.
Logan Eggleston hitting 500.
Yeah, if you're Texas, you've got to stay aware of who's high efficiency right now. Even if the other team knows you're leaning that way, I would go with the person who's having the most success.
Skylar Fields, by contrast, the Big 12 freshman of the year, pretty quiet so far on the night. That's a tough chance. That's going to be Texas ball. Vivao is a back row setter. She participated in a blocking move. That's a good call. Skylar Fields is just 4 of 12 with a couple of errors, hitting 167.
Yeah, versus last night at almost 700.
Look at Santa Barbara. Could you ever imagine them hitting 352 against Texas in the NCAA tournament? Well, that's where they are right now. Leon Butler.
Part of the reason Santa Barbara's had so much success is because they've controlled the serving of Texas so well, but now Texas turning up the service pressure, and you can't run the same speed of your offense if you don't make that first contact. Here's another one pulling the Santa Barbara setter on the move.
And another block by Texas. Breon Butler with a stuff block, and maybe Santa Barbara needs a timeout. Try to weather the storm that is swirling inside Gregory Gym, and it's all wearing burnt orange. Texas backs against the wall, must-win situation. Cat Bell, All-American, NCAA champion, getting right into the huddle after the third set.
Yeah, but I can't say that I've ever seen that before.
Never.
Somebody
I've
who's
never seen that.
an ex-player, but not a part of the staff, jumping into the huddle like that. Seems to have worked for Texas so far, jumping out to this 8-4 lead in the fourth.
4-0 run for Eggleston and the Longhorns, now to lead it 8-4 in the fourth. Easy serve. Right side off the edge and down once again. Tasia Farmer has been spectacular for Santa Barbara in a support role. What do you mean, Paul, support role? She got 9 kills on 19 swings.
But you said it, easy serve. Easy serve means Santa Barbara runs their offense, and they're hitting 340 on the evening thanks to that easier serving.
Ennis with a nice first touch. Not this time. Stuff blocked by Micaiah White. Texas now with 11 stuff blocks.
And a little delayed reaction from Micaiah White. It's the most emotion I've seen her show all season.
Again, Autumn Roundsville has taken over for Sydney Peterson. Nice dig by Eggleston. Going to White. Just too good a swing. No defense for that. Oh, that ball tucked down inside. The crowd was getting ready to blow the roof off of this place.
It looked from most angles like a stuff. Just slipped into the gap between wing and middle blocker.
11 kills now for Farmer, 10 for Froley. Of course, Rudden's leading the way with 16 to go along with a dozen digs. Right side again. Boy, Santa Barbara really likes to go against the flow.
Ruddens is available in the middle there.
Out of the back row. Thumb down into the deep cross-court corner. A beautiful shot. Texas only had one blocker up.
Yep, she was ready earlier in the play, too. I thought maybe Santa Barbara would set her. The wing blockers were nowhere near, not providing any help.
Ruddens is digging a lot of balls and not many of them easy chances.
Oops, that's not.
Yeah, but can Texas capitalize? Right side to field, yes they can. 11-7 Texas. Perfect pass. And out of the middle. Denny Wilson, along with her freshman teammate Taja Farmer, are really filling big roles.
And Wilson has so much more success when she stays in front of the setter. A couple of plays ago, we saw them try to run a back quick in transition and misconnect because of the blind set. I think they're better at keeping her in front.
Oh, what a big break. Gabriel will get a very fortuitous bounce and kill as Micaiah White will go back to serve. Texas has only lost 3 times this year. Once at Stanford, once at Rice, and once at Baylor. As I just mentioned, all on the road, all in 5 sets. They are perfect in this building this year. And they have played some good teams, USC, Minnesota, etc. Texas A&M, another good team. Ball is served out of bounds. Texas now in double figures as far as service errors with 10. Micaiah White off the nice block deflection out of the pipe. Micaiah White registers the kill. She now has 16 kills on 45 swings.
Nice choice by Gabriel, but there was good left side blocker help from Ruddens there. That ball just slipped through her arms.
Nice set stepping in. The lead is 5. Asia O'Neal continues to serve.
And Claire Hahn doing a nice job of becoming the setter when their main setter Gabriel steps off.
Unforced error. Santa Barbara got to be thinking about a timeout. Against the flow again, Froley. Cover in the backcourt by Glasgow. Texas with the block. They lead it 15-10.
Texas called in the net.
Wow, that is a huge break. Thanks, Karch, for Santa Barbara. This place was going crazy.
Yeah.
Half the bench players for Texas were almost out on the floor. That is a huge break for Santa Barbara. Can they take advantage? That is a gutsy set by Jenna Gabriel out of Honolulu, Hawaii, who has had sort of struggles setting Breon Butler. They're still trying to work it out. Look at Jermaine back there. Everybody's on. That's the first time he's gotten out of that. Trust me, I've been here a lot. First time he's gotten out of that seat all season. And with good reason. Butler now with 10 kills and 8 blocks.
Connection like that, worth celebrating. And a lead like this, if you're a Texas fan, worth celebrating.
But remember, this is just to get to the 5th set tiebreaker. That ball served out of bounds. Brian, what was that note? Texas has 10 or more service errors in their 9th straight match. And some of those have been sweeps. 5 sets Baylor, 4 sets Iowa State, but some of those have been quick.
Nice touch.
And Breon Butler again. 11th kill for number 10 in white.
I love that pass by Eggleston. She's been working really hard on that. Her coaching staff said she's made huge strides in the last year.
Texas is working on Ruddens a lot more now in serve receive. They've gone away from Fleck.
Nice out.
That is a lucky swing for Ruddens. Was in about a day too early. A bracket update. Texas A&M. 3-1 over Rice. That was a strange match indeed. Texas A&M had a huge first set lead. Rice, a team that beat Texas, and only 3 teams have done that. So they have moved on to a regional semifinal. Congratulations to the Aggies. Smart shot up into the block. Restart the point. that's going to be another net violation. Yeah, net violation called this time on Micaiah White. Texas leads 17-13. Must win for the number 2 seeds to force a 5th set tiebreaker and stay alive. And if you're wondering, if your hair contacts the net, that is not a violation. Nice looking offense. Difference for Texas here in the 4th, Karch.
Better passing, like on that last one, you talked about it. Nice looking offense when you have Breon Butler being this massive threat in front of you, and you set away from her. The opponents don't expect it. Easy kill at the left side.
Into the deep cross court corner, number 23. Taja, don't call me a role player farmer. She is hoeing the row, or rowing the hose. Farmer now with 12 kills on 23 swings, hitting almost 350. Texas still leading by 4. Crowley able to tuck that ball down inside. 18-15. They're block touching Micaiah White very effectively right now. What does she need to change?
We saw her earlier hit that wrist away, that thumb down swing. Sharp cross court. There's no defender for Santa Barbara there because the defender is coming in to get the soft stuff.
Dig by Ruddens. Ball set tight. Ruddens chasing and just kept alive off the top of the tape. Blocked by Texas. Wow, what a save, Asia O'Neal there.
What a save by O'Neal earlier in the rally, but look at the help from Micaiah White.
Good call. Good call. It was White.
She was responsible for both her main hitter, which is out at the sideline, but she also stayed pinched in to help on the quick.
Santa Barbara was way ahead in the point, if you will, and could not close it out thanks to White. Off the edge. Very, very smart swing by the freshman Tallulah Froley. Froley was first team All Big West this year, and she has shown why through the first 2 rounds of this tournament. 19-16. Nice dig, hittable ball. Oh, that was really close. That was really close. Coach Lantane Welch of Santa Barbara was just dying to challenge, but confirmed that it was out of bounds. Tough chance for Eggleston. Oh, good set in transition. Looked like that ball might have contacted the antenna. Off the top of the block by Texas. Don't you take a timeout here if you're Santa Barbara? Would you, Karch?
I would. But they pulled within 3. They just gave up a couple. I'm impressed with Coach Lantane Welch's patience.
Combination play dug by Hahn.
And a good set.
Wow. Look at these teams compete. Ball is set way too tight.
Yeah, Texas doesn't have a true setter on the floor.
But they got a hitter on the floor in Logan Eggleston. High flat with velocity. 18 kills on 35 swings. Eggleston fully a third of those kills in this set. Timeout called, Dean. It's about a 95% operation that they will not win this set. But they have time to accomplish something, don't they?
They do. They have time to accomplish getting back to their game. And stranger things have happened. So when you're down, when you're a team that's down like this, just take care of your job and make this side out. Tough serve and see what happens.
Maybe find some comfort, find some momentum, side out a couple of times. Nice pass. That's a good way to start. And on the back one, once again, Denny Wilson. A good delivery that time by Lovenberg.
Yeah, I like that back one a lot better when the other team is serving than when it's in transition and she's coming down off the block and trying to hit that.
Oh, what a cover by Rounsaville. Back throw to Micaiah White. Might have been her best swing of the night.
Great adjustment, and she chose to hit not dead center of the court, but off center, and she got Ruddens, the left side blocker for Santa Barbara, out of the play that way.
What a good delivery that time by Jenna Gabriel. Both players adjusting beautifully. Here's O'Neal. Eggleston one more time. Set points, 7 of them to force the 15-point tiebreaker. Going to get a look at it. Here's Ruddens. Tough swing and off the edge of the block. You know, Molly Phillips, number 15, trains as a middle blocker. She's made some really nice first contacts in some rallies. She made some critical plays to help protect this lead. Vavao on to serve.
Now we saw her make a nice set too. She got her team a good swing. That's something that not all middles are capable of doing, but it's important they get it done.
Second set point for Texas to force the tiebreaker. It's never happened before, but it might happen again. Cat Bell's inspirational speech after the third set. The NCAA champion there with Haley Eckerman got right down in the huddle and right in the faces of the Texas Longhorns. Back with USA Olympic head coach Karch Kiraly. I'm Paul Sunderland. 15-point tiebreaker. Do you approach a fifth set any differently than the first four in terms of getting off to a quicker start or anything at all?
No, you really just have to focus on the very next task at hand. And sometimes you're going to go up by a little. Sometimes you're going to go down. We've seen some crazy fifth sets in the recent past in this season. Nebraska winning 15-3 against Minnesota after Minnesota stormed back from a 2-0 deficit. Same thing, BYU beating Pepperdine. So you do want to come out with a fast start, but it doesn't always happen that way. You just have to stick with the plan and trust the work that you've done.
Remember, fifth set tiebreaker played to 15. The teams will change sides at 8. You do get 2 timeouts per team, even though it's an abbreviated tiebreaker. And Santa Barbara has 4 challenges, and Texas has 3 challenges remaining. You get an extra challenge into the fifth set, and we're underway. First chance for the Gauchos. Makaya White misses out of the backcourt, looking for a touch. There was none. Santa Barbara looking to get back to a regional semifinal for the first time since 2002. Texas trying to get to a regional final for the 14th year in a row.
That's a good tough serve by Santa Barbara. That's what won them that second and third set.
Oh, good set in transition, and runs inside the block that time of O'Neal. That ball hit out of bounds by Makaya White was the first hitting error for Texas since the third set. They had none in the fourth. Eggleston, boy, has she been a star. 20 kills now on 42 swings. 42 swings, Karch. 1 hitting error. One.
So you might want to think about setting her a few more times this set. That might be part of the Texas plan.
Well, she's available in all 6 rotations.
Yeah. Plus, they started with her up front. Texas changed their normal starting lineup to get Eggleston there, and Butler coming up huge with the block.
That's just being too good and too smart by Breon Butler, because that play looked perfect for Santa Barbara. Tough swing for Ruddens, going off speed. Setter for Santa Barbara makes the first contact. Butler again with a saving block. Stuffed on the outside. Beautiful block by Wilson along with Tallulah Froling. Number 20 and number 5 respectively. That was huge for the Gauchos.
It sure was. And the one trouble when the ball comes up on the Texas side and their normal setter Gabriel has subbed out is they can't run as much of an offense in transition.
Beautiful off speed. Look at the Gaucho coaching staff. They're expecting Zoe Fleck to get everything. And she has been.
She was there. The pancake broke.
The spatula broke.
The spatula didn't work.
Tied at 3. Oh, a huge block. Coach Elliott telling us yesterday that his team sometimes is a little too quiet. Skylar Fields didn't get the memo. Ruddens, oh,
nice up.
That's going to be 4 contacts. Roundsville with a good save, stab by Fields.
And Rudden's coming in really early and just standing with no approach, still finding a way to kill that ball.
Rudden's has had a spectacular night. 22 kills, 46 swings, 391 against Texas on the road. Block deflection and out of bounds off of Ennis. Skylar Fields, who struggled early, picking it up a little bit here now, 6 of 17. Good rhythm high off the top of the block. Farmer once again. Tasia Farmer with 13 kills. Rudden's leading the way, as I mentioned. Tallulah Froley with 12. And Tori Glasker, who's the ball control player, wearing number 23, she's got 10 kills.
Really impressed by some of these underclassmen taking huge rips at the ball.
Perfect pass. I guess that's what it's supposed to look like.
That's what it's supposed to look like. Woo.
But it all started with a perfect pass, and I think it was the libero, Roundsville.
Yeah, they made the change, and she has really settled Texas down. Roundsville started in the Bro jersey.
Butler now with a season-high 13 kills. Oh, that ball was down, no question. Gabriel did a pretty good job of trying to act it out, but not there. Her spatula wasn't broken. It was just about a foot too short.
And I think you mentioned it, plenty of challenges if the coaches feel the need. They saved a lot of them.
4 for Santa Barbara, 3 for Texas.
Nice set.
Oh, what a stab by Ennis. Santa Barbara's going to get a chance. No chance there. Skylar Fields feeling it. She'll give way to Claire Hahn. Remember, the teams will change sides at 8.
The freshman Fields, we saw that stuff earlier. Taking a rip. So many underclassmen on the floor for Texas besides Micaiah White.
This is a young Texas team.
Yep.
O'Neal, a redshirt freshman. Breon Butler, a sophomore. Gabriel, a sophomore. Eggleston, a sophomore. Oh, what a rip.
What an up.
Dug by Hahn.
Way to take the setter out of it.
Claire Hahn, 3 in a row. Oh! Perfect pass. Oh, and a double contact at the end. Tremendous play by both teams. Claire Hahn, what a sequence.
And those were some of Farmer's
This was heat.
balls. Heat coming cross court.
And then how about Zoe Fleck answering there as well. Tied at 7. We'll change sides after this point. Missed into the deep cross court corner. A chance for Santa Barbara to change sides with the lead. 8-7, 5th set. Who will advance? "14 straight years this Texas volleyball program under head coach Jared Elliott has. Father Jermaine, see what he said? Right now. That was a really good serve by Micaiah White. Slicing off the short one. Taking extra time. And again. Timeout Santa Barbara. The first ace of the night for Texas, and it could not have come at a better time. Back-to-back big points for the Texas Longhorns. That was a mistake for Santa Barbara. No mistake in this.
No, just brought the heat. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what she hits out of the timeout. That softer serve was so effective. That would be a good choice right now.
And that was against UC Santa Barbara's best receiver in Zoe Fleck. Tori Glasker there as well in terms of really being a good receiver. They might tighten things up a little bit against Micaiah White. How surprised are you that this match has gone this long with Santa Barbara being such an underdog?
Well, we thought they had a chance. I wouldn't call it a 50-50 split, but the way they ran their offense, remember they hit progressively better, 300, almost 500 in the third. That fast offense is what has gotten them to this point. But when you have Micaiah White knocking them around with her serve, that offense is going to break down. Santa Barbara just doesn't have the arms to terminate when they're scrambling on offense.
Yeah, got to be in system right now. Must have it, trailing 10-7. Remember in the 15-point tiebreaker. Bounds. Crowley missed it wide. This is a big lead for Texas in a fifth set. Nothing run for White in Texas. Over the top and down. Lineswoman doing a really good job coming down aggressively. That ball was on the floor. We got to give Autumn Ramseville some real props. Her minutes, if you will, have been really limited over the last month and a half or so, as you have two outside hitters playing six rotations. She came in the pressure cooker and has really held up well. Santa Barbara has time. Eggleston again. 21 kills for number 33. Good server at the line for the Longhorns in O'Neal. Crowley luckily off the top of the tape, and Molly Phillips, middle blocker, who's been making some nice ball control plays. That was a little bit unfortunate. Unlucky, I should say.
But you could see how, with that poor first contact, Santa Barbara's offense completely broke down and slowed it down. Texas set up well defensively.
Eggleston again. She has been fantastic. Texas 2 points away from surviving, and she's been doing it, Karchkirai, all night long. 5 kills in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 7. I think the home court advantage matters. Hosting is pretty good. Texas trying to survive and hopes next weekend in the regional. Ruddens. Ramseville with a spectacular dig. Off the edge of the block and out of bounds. Autumn Ramseville once again has been superb. 13-10.
Well, remember, Santa Barbara was turning so many points. They're not a dominant blocking team, but it starts with a tough serve, and then they were coming up with digs from people like Fleck That's what they need here, but they've got a tough Texas alignment across the net. 3 strong hitters in the front court.
Watch for Butler. Breon Butler now 14 kills on 23 swings, hitting over .520. Match points for Texas. Texas a swing for the win.
Texas State set number 5, 15-10. Texas 3, Texas 2.